Alright. Thank you so much, guys, for a good team, for a good flight together.
And this looks like those farewell that we promised earlier. This, of course, is a video of the crew saying their farewells before Commander Dan Burbank and flight engineers Anton Shkaplerov and Anatoly Ivanishin got into their Soyuz TMA-22 and closed the hatches. That took place at 12:12 a.m. Central Time this morning. In the foreground of this view, you can see on the left-hand side Anatoly Ivanishin, and on the right Andrei Kuipers, one of the 3 crew members staying behind.
So, should we close it?
Пока.
Bye.
Пока.
See you. Bye.
Постараемся.
Take care. We'll do our best.
Good view here, of course, of the station side of the hatch between the International Space Station, or its Poisk mini research module anyway, and the Soyuz TMA-22 that's going to be carrying home Dan Burbank, Anton Shkaplerov, and Anatoly Ivanishin this morning. They're scheduled to land at 6:45 a.m. Central Time. This hatch closing that you're seeing actually took place a little earlier tonight, finishing up at 12:12 a.m. Central Time. Since then, they have been working to perform a series of leak checks, and the team here in the Space Station Flight Control Room in the Mission Control Center in Houston just reported that they had a good leak check of the vestibule between the 2 vehicles. So those are proceeding on time and as planned.
Режим ССП выполнен, 11:17:20. Крюки открыты, горят. Включил секундомер.
As you can see, Soyuz TMA-22 now undocking. That took place right on time at 3:18 a.m. Central Time. Officially wrapping up Expedition 30 and ending Commander Dan Burbank's and flight engineers Anton Shkaplerov and Anatoly Ivanishin's time at the space station. They spent a total of 163 days aboard the International Space Station since their docking to the Poisk Mini Research Module 2 on November 15th at 11:24 p.m. Central Time.
Следующая остановка, планета Земля. Ну, хочется надеяться. Да, мы последим за вами, попереживаем. Не исключайте. Есть обобщенное ГСО. Есть выбор по ББ-1. Переходим на страницу 84.
A little less than 2 minutes to go now until that separation burn that will require Shkaplerov to fire the Soyuz jets for 15 seconds and move it away from the International Space Station.
Приняли. Не видно вас ни в один иллюминатор. А я свой вижу вас.
Continuing to see a view here from the Soyuz of the International Space Station as it backs away from the Poisk Mini Research Module 2.
Анатолий, помашем им крыльями. Ну, аккуратнее, там, чтобы не оторвались. Приняли удар по КРЛ. Заключительную операцию мы будем делать? Не понял.
Just a few seconds now until the separation burn.
Приняли. Есть работа ДПО. По плюс X.
Again, this will last 15 seconds.
Ускоряемся. Погасло. Работа ДПО погасла.
And the team here in mission control reporting a good separation burn. Soyuz TMA-22 is now moving away from the space station at a rate of about 1.2 miles per hour, which should put them in a safe distance in time for the deorbit burn that will drop them back into the Earth's atmosphere and put them on a return course for Kazakhstan.
Приняли 11.26.00, страница 87, небиоведение спуск. Приняли. Далее шарбал у нас без изменений 179, окислитель горючий 18,3.
Once again, with this undocking comes the official end of Expedition 30 at the International Space Station. And although the baton was ceremonially passed at a change of command ceremony on Wednesday, this also marks the official beginning of Oleg Kononenko's time as commander of Expedition 31 at the space station. View there in the foreground of one of the 8 helicopters in the area to meet the Soyuz as it makes its descent to its landing site, and coming up, as you can see, on that touchdown. It's just a few seconds away now. And the team here in the International Space Station Flight Control Room confirming that the Soyuz TMA-22 has touched down in Kazakhstan.
Вот сюда никто не подходит больше. Anton! Corridor!
Anton, give him the corridor.
And you see the first of the crew members has been removed from the Soyuz capsule. This is Anton Shkaplerov, who was the commander of the Soyuz for its landing. He was seated in the center seat and as such was the first to be taken out. Next up, of course, will be his crewmates, Anatoly, Ivanishin, and Dan Burbank.
We're about to get the second of the 3 crew members out. this process, whether the Soyuz lands upright or on its side, does take a few minutes to complete, but they're working methodically to extract the crew members and get them into their respective seats, the other two crew members, that is. Typically, the left-seater, which would be Anatoly Ivanishin, would be the second one out. We'll see if that is the case here. Sometimes they reverse the order of the second and third crew members. There
that looks like what we're seeing.
And it is, in fact, Ivanishin who is pulled out of the Soyuz spacecraft, flashing a broad smile as he is put in his reclining chair, completing his first flight into space, as did his Russian crewmate Anton Shkaplerov. However, this seemed to be one of the most pinpoint, precise landings, according to what we were told a moment ago before I went on the air. The spacecraft landed almost exactly where it had been forecast to. Of course, the search and recovery forces are tracking the Soyuz through a beacon signal, GPS receivers. They had voice contact, and now applause comes up. Dan Burbank, now out of his and being carried to his chair. We're going to walk over to see if we can get closer to him. He is in the process of loosening the helmet that he wore during the descent back to Earth, but all three crew members now out of the Soyuz vehicle. Chief astronaut Peggy Whitson is directly behind Burbank, asking him if he needs anything at the moment. Dr. Smith Johnston, his flight surgeon, and Russian nurses are attending to Burbank as well. This is customary. They're placing a blanket over his legs. He'll have an opportunity to refamiliarize himself to the 1G environment here as the moments move on before they're hoisted back into their medical tent, as I said, to get their flight suits off. And now he's about to receive congratulations from one of the head personnel for the search and recovery forces, making sure if he needs anything.
Shkaplerov again there waving at the camera as he passes by. Followed here by Ivanishin.
Just be careful.
And here Commander Dan Burbank. This tent was carried by one of the helicopters and set up after they had met the Soyuz at its landing site for the crew to use once they had a few minutes to get used to gravity.